for another one of our videos where we're learning a little bit about our BNI members here in Saskatchewan. So today on the call we have Scott Knoll with Tribal Security. He's one of our newest BNI ambassadors. He is not only a member of his chapter, but he also helps support another chapter in our region. So I'm going to ask him a few questions, and let's see if we can learn some about him. So, Scott, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Lawrence. Nice to be here.
Yeah, just start off. How long have you been a member of BNI now?
Just over a year now. I know we started our chapter a while back, and I think it's been a few months past our year mark. So.
Yeah, and then I guess also including the time that you were building that chapter, because you were one of the first that started. That was a few months as well.
Yeah, I think that was a few months too, even before we had started. We were doing that and then jumped into the Diamond Growth program and everything and got it running. So.
Very cool. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself and tell me a little bit about your business.
Okay, I own my own security company. It's called Tribal Security Enforcement Services. We started back in 2006, and we provide security for commercial and residential homes. We drive around, we'll check on buildings, lock up gates, lock up doors, make sure the buildings are secure at night. And with houses and stuff, it's more so alarm service, or if anybody's out of town on vacation, we'll go by and check their houses as well. Other services we do, though, would be like sites, and we'll sit on construction sites, have guards there watching everything, and then event security as well. So our biggest event that we do is Country Thunder, and we've picked up other little events here and there, rodeos and birthdays and anniversaries, surprisingly, but nowadays it seems like people need security at those functions. Our main service, though, is mobile security. So that would be the driving around, checking on buildings, doing alarm response, and call outs for noise complaints and everything. The type of clients that we would have would be property management, and commercial services are the biggest ones, and then our residential clients as well.
Okay, very cool. So how many people do you have working with you right now? Is it just you, or do you have others?
It varies. So over the winter months, we get very slow with events and stuff. So I dropped down to about 7 or 8 staff that would be on payroll. And then when it comes down to events, we have up to about 75 to 80 staff that are working here and there. So.
Oh, wow. That's quite a bit. And how easy is it to become a security guard?
Actually, fairly easy. If you're 18 years old, you can sit down and go through a 40-hour training course that I'll teach. And then we do an exam. And if you get over 75%, you can become a fully licensed security guard. And then as you go throughout the years, you get your experience and learn how to deal with people and disgruntled people and everything. So it's fairly easy to get into security. It fell into my lap when I was 18 years old. I had a friend whose dad owned a security company, and he was looking for staff for a big event. And I said, yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot. So it kind of stuck.
Okay. So that's actually like a 40-hour course. That's not just nothing. There's a lot of other trades that you can get in with no-hour courses, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's probably over about 500 pages long. So I've read through it hundreds of times, and I still learn stuff every time.
So what are some of your favorite types of projects or clients that you like to work with?
I would say my favorite project that I've ever done throughout my years is doing bodyguard work for Keith Richards when the Rolling Stones played here in Regina, and also doing bodyguard work for Anna Faris when they shot the Just Friends video or the movie. They were shooting it up to Cornwall and stuff, so they had me following Anna Faris around the mall while she was shopping, and it was cool to do. I felt a little weird, so I had to announce that I was like security, and they had me following her around. So she was really nice. Ended up taking a picture with me later.
Wow, that is pretty cool. Do you get a lot of opportunity to do like one-on-one bodyguard work like that, or is it usually the site security?
It's not too often I had to do the bodyguard stuff. I know with private investigation and everything, there's a little bit when it comes to city stuff that I was doing, but other than that, yeah, it's not too often that someone famous comes into the city and you get the opportunity to follow them around and watch over them. So it's a good experience. It was pretty cool.
Okay. So what would you say is unique about who you are and what you do with your business?
Well, I know my business is very unique in BNI. I know there's not very many security companies that provide a security service. But unique about us, I would say I started when I was 18. So I got 22 years doing security work. I've owned my own business now for 14, but before that, I worked for all these other security companies. And I kind of took what they were doing wrong, like with their clients and with their staff and stuff, and then just kind of made it my own, and took it off, treat all my employees like family and friends and all that kind of stuff. So it's just nice doing it that way. Another thing would be, yeah, just change the way that they kind of ran things. I know another unique thing about us is that I went and I changed our vehicles. Um, Throughout my career, we always were driving Crown Vics. We always looked like city police. So once I took over the company and stuff, I decided I was going to change from Crown Vics and went with the Ford Mustang. And from there, I get a lot more attention from people, and then even city police are happy with us. They've offered or not offered, but they've asked if they could drive the vehicle. I was like, yeah, if you want, go ahead. Same with the RCMP. Like the RCMP are happy to see, because they could tell us apart. They know I'm a security company and that they're city police. So I would say that's our uniqueness.
So how important is it to have a good relationship with the police and the RCMP?
Um, Very good. I know even doing my security and stuff throughout the years, it's if you don't have that relationship with the police, if I ever need them, because when I'm out by myself, and if I don't have that relationship with them, they're not going to show up, and I'm going to be sitting there for 2 or 3 hours waiting with a guy that's laying there in handcuffs. And once you have that relationship and they realize you call, they know that you need them right away, and they'll show up instantly. Especially now with some of the clients that we're dealing with and cleaning up their buildings and stuff, they show up really fast when I call now. So.
Wow, that's great. So obviously, in security, you're trying to prevent, like you're very, very preventative, right? That's your role, to try to prevent break-ins or vandalism or anything like that. Do you have a favorite success story that you'd like to share that really showcases how you're able to do that?
Yeah, well, there's lots. But I was kind of racking my brain the past few days being like, oh, which one do I go with? Because there's so many. But it is like security is a huge deterrent. And we've recently picked up clients that had apartment complexes. And I would have to say that's the best success story we have. We went into these apartments and they were a mess. Doors weren't locking properly. We're kicking people out that were sleeping under the stairs almost every single night. We found needles all over the place, and it helped too, because I modified my mobile a little bit as well. We ended up getting a biotech bin and tongs and stuff, so we could actually go and clean up these needles ourselves instead of having to rely on somebody else to do it. And it just made the mobile program so much better. And seeing these buildings now where you go walk through them and there's not going to be any issues whatsoever, and they could be in the worst neighborhood in the city, and it's secure and it's locked up and all the residents are safe and happy. And we get so many thank yous from residents when we walk through that they're happy we're there, because their washer and dryer aren't getting destroyed just for the change. It's very nice to hear, and it's a very, very good feeling that we did really good work securing their buildings and cleaning up their buildings. It's nice to hear when people are happy and safe. Yeah. They could actually sleep at night.
And for the owners of the apartment, that's huge, because people will want to stay there. They'll want to pay their rents on time. They'll want to renew their leases and so on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like we've gotten rid of so many. Like when we started, there was meth labs in there was drug dealers in there, gang members. And as we go through, we start to notice these little things like, this is a little odd. You might want to look into it. Sure enough, they look into it, and yeah, this is what's going on. They get police involved and they can evict them right away, which is nice. And then other residents too, they're like, well, thank God you got rid of them. Like they're the reason the doors were jimmied all the time or broken into, because then people don't have to buzz in to get into the building, right? Yeah. They would just pop the door open, go in and make their deal and leave. And yeah, it's cleaned up a lot, and it's crazy because it's even opened up my eyes. Like over the years of doing security, like I haven't seen this kind of stuff. And now with doing these apartments and everything, it's just crazy. I never even thought that kind of stuff was in the city, but now we deal with it all the time.
Wow.
And it's cool too. I just picked up another apartment complex yesterday.
Oh, wow.
They ended up calling me and they're like, "Oh, this is the location." I'm like, "Perfect. We do stuff in that area already and we'll help clean it up." So told her all the types of stuff we'll do with needle pickup and taking pictures and reporting everything. And they're really, really happy. They look forward to working with us too. So.
Very cool. So, um, so you've been in BNI now for a year and a half, 2 years if you count the chartering part of your chapter. How has BNI impacted your business?
I love BNI. I know when I first sat down in a meeting, I was kind of like, "Oh, what's this all about?" And then realizing when it comes down to referrals, I'm like, "Wow, like a lot of my contracts I have are through referral." I said, like, BNI is going to be great for me. So I sat down and I started doing education, as you know, and it's just changed the way I do business greatly. Like it's instead of providing a service to sell, like I help my clients the best I can. It's always about helping them, not trying to sell them that service. And just even through my connections, the lady I was talking to the other day with apartments, I mentioned like, if you need anything like construction, flooring, plumbing, any of that, like I can help you out the best that you can to make your buildings the best that they can be. And I guess it's given me a lot more confidence. I know I've grew up as a shy kid and stuff like that, but just being able to stand up and be proud of my business that I've actually built and stuff, it's motivated me a lot, and I have a lot to thank BNI for that. If it wasn't for you guys and the education and talking with you guys every week, I'd probably still be sitting here twiddling my thumbs with the same few contracts I've had for the years past. But BNI has done a lot for me, I would say.
I remember you told me that before, that it's really helped you with your follow up and feeling confident in the prices that you're giving and the services that you're providing, and then feeling that desire to reach out to people and say, hey, what do you think of my pricing and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty important.
Yeah. Well, and it's just that mind frame too of like they're not a client now. You almost try to make that friendship with them as well and show them like I'm here for you guys no matter what.
Hmm.
It's like I'll help you out. I'll change prices if you need to as well. If they're having, well, especially with what's going on right now, it's like it is really tough for people in the budget. And I can adjust things too because you don't want to lose that deterrent of us driving by. I've
Right.
had clients where they like right when this virus started, they're like, "Kate, well, maybe we won't have you guys driving by." I'm like, "Okay, we could easily do that, no problem. Like I totally understand." And then recently they're like, "Hey, can you guys start up again?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, we'll start tonight." And it went back to the way it used to be. And now we're back cleaning up that building once again because doors have been bust into and the building's just been taken over. And now we're going through again. And it's that reminder of like, if a client does go and cancel services, even for a little bit, they know we're not there and things will go back to the way they were in a heartbeat. So.
Yeah. That's a pretty powerful testimonial that as soon as you stop your services, things start to revert back to where they were. So it's proven that what you're doing is really making a difference, which is
Oh, it
really
is
good
for
to know.
sure. And sometimes people don't realize it. I know being security, we're kind of on the bottom of the list when it comes down to budget stuff. And yeah, it's once they realize we're gone, they're like, "Uh-oh, maybe we shouldn't have changed." And I usually get a call back and say, "Hey, can you come start checking our stuff again?" I was like, "Yeah, for sure. No problem."
Very cool. Well, I appreciate you taking some time to chat with me, Scott. You know that I really appreciate what you do in your chapter as an ambassador, and I know I can always come to you if I have questions because you've spent so much time learning on our BNI University, and so you're a really good example of what BNI is and who we are. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, anytime. I'll always chat with you, Lawrence. I enjoy it.
All right. Thanks a lot, Scott.